Have y'all noticed that all of a sudden basic facts are up for debate? Climate change, fake. Diversity and inclusion, a scam. Book banning, necessary for protecting kids. And somehow, Krasnov is now saying Canada belongs to the U.S.? Girl, we are living through a full-blown war on reality, and it's not even an accident. Hey y'all, I'm Shaniqua, and this is my new segment, I Got Tea. Time to educate America, because clearly somebody needs to. And today, we're breaking down the second warning sign of fascism according to Umberto Eco's 14 Laws of Fascism. And he would know, because he grew up under Mussolini. Now, this second one is called the rejection of modernism. And if you've been wondering why they're suddenly trying to erase science, rewrite history, and ban every book that tells the truth, this is why. So what is the rejection of modernism? See, fascists don't like thinking people. Thinking people ask questions. Thinking people demand accountability. So the only way for fascism to work is to destroy progress and drag us backwards. The rejection of modernism means rejecting science, rejecting education, rejecting facts, and replacing them with tradition and belief. It's about keeping people ignorant so that they can be controlled. And I would say that they might be succeeding. Okay, let's look at some historical examples. Example number one, the Catholic Church versus Galileo. Now, back in the 1600s, Galileo said the earth revolved around the sun. And the church said, nah, we don't like that. But instead of debating him with facts, they put him under house arrest. Because when people in power don't like the truth, they just try to erase it. Second example, the Mustache Man of 1930s and art. The selective censorship of art. Now, he didn't just ban art, he manipulated it. He looted thousands of European masterpieces from Jewish families in occupied nations. At the same time, he banned and burned modern, experimental, or degenerate art that challenged fascist ideas, including Picasso's. He held the 1937 Degenerate Art exhibit to publicly mock artists before seizing or destroying their work. And while he ordered the protection of certain sites, like the bridges in Florence, it wasn't because he loved art. It was because he wanted to preserve the kind of art that fit his vision. Sound familiar? Because today, the U.S. is following the same playbook with book bans, curriculum censorship, and media control. I mean, how many of our independent news sites are we going to ban because we want to? So, example number 3 is the American War on Education. So let's talk about the U.S. in the 1950s, because girl, we've been here before. They banned progressive books. They purged communists from universities. They pushed the idea that women should stay home and out of the workforce because women were kind of doing their jobs better than them. Anyway, fascists don't want an educated public. They want an obedient one. Let's talk about how this shows up today. Because if we bring it back to the right now, we're going to see that this exact playbook is being used today. As we said, book bans and curriculum censorship. They're literally fining colleges and schools, just regular public schools. They're changing the textbook. I mean, hundreds of books are being banned across the U.S., especially books about race, gender, and history. They are literally erasing Black history, LGBTQ plus history, and indigenous history from schools. Florida even banned AP African American Studies, and there have been colleges that have gotten rid of that too. Why? Because they know an educated population won't fall for their lies. And also, they know that an empowered people can't be imprisoned. So let's talk about Krasnov's executive order obsession. He's given that Umbridge effect. Because if Krasnov's presidency were a Harry Potter movie, he wouldn't be Voldemort. He would be Umbridge. Yes, Because just like Umbridge flooded Hogwarts with new oppressive rules, Krasnov has been issuing executive orders like candy, stripping away rights, attacking marginalized communities, and overriding democracies whenever possible. See, Umbridge banned practical defense against the dark arts because people did know that Voldemort existed. And Krasnov is banning practical education, erasing history, and gutting DEIA programs so future generations won't know how to fight back. I mean, he even said that Ukraine started the war with Russia. What? See, Krasnov has this geographical revisionism. And when fascists rewrite reality, we're in trouble. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America through executive order? Woo! Y'all think it's so simple, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. Major tech companies like Google and Apple, they actually fell in line, updating their maps to reflect this fabricated reality. But anyway, why? Because rejecting modernism means rewriting the established facts to fit their nationalist narrative. So here's why rejection of modernism is dangerous. If they control what you can read, what you can learn, and what you can believe, they control you. And if they erase history, they can rewrite it. If they kill progress, they can force us backwards. And if they keep us ignorant, they can do whatever they want. Now, this is where we push back. And here's how we can stop them. First of all, if they ban a book, put it on your to-be-read list. Read those banned books and share the knowledge, like I'm doing here. I don't know if this is a banned one, but it's definitely one worth sharing. And if they don't want you to read it, I'm telling you, there's a reason. Support libraries, independent bookstores, and educators fighting against censorship. The other thing you can do is protect DEIA programs. You shouldn't have to need a federal mandate to enforce them. If you work in a company with DEIA, fight to keep it. Call out attacks on diversity programs in schools, workplaces, and government. If anybody says DEI or DEIA with a sneer or as a slur, ask them to use the words instead. Ask them why they're against diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. When you say it all the way out, their argument gets kind of weak, doesn't it? So the third thing you can do is reject propaganda and call it out as revisionist history. If they say slavery wasn't that bad, drag them with the receipts. And if you see a textbook that says that slavery was a volunteer job, call it out. And the fourth thing you can do is vote like your life depends on it. Because, baby girl, it does. People literally died over this. People literally were attacked by government agencies because they fought for people to vote. You don't have to die. Use your life. Don't you dare say your vote doesn't matter or your vote doesn't count. Because people literally died for this. People literally had to take a test and pay for that in order to vote. So you need to vote. You get to do it in a free and fair election. Well, the way to make it more fair is for more of you to exercise your voice. So it's harder for them to do what they've done over the last few elections. So if rejecting modernism was really about protecting tradition, then let me ask you this. Why do they only ban knowledge that threatens their power? And if you want to threaten their power even more, and you like this video, please like it, share it, engage with me, quote whatever you liked from it, and make sure that this gets pushed in the algorithm because my videos have been suppressed, and probably because I do threaten their power. All right, y'all. This has been I Got Tea. Time to educate America. I'll see you in the third episode for this series. And I promise you, they're not going to like that one.